welcome to another eBay unboxing. I'm very, very worried about this one because the seller was a brand new seller on eBay. When they're brand new sellers, they really don't know how to pack correctly. And this item is fragile. I know it says fragile. I don't know. I'm not funny. All right. So hopefully this item did not come broken. Do you see what I mean? There goes my unruly dog. Sorry about that. The mailman's here. Can't stop him from barking. All right. So that was an odd packaging decision. Just place some paper in here and just stick the crystal in and just stick paper on top of it. But I digress. All right. New sellers, they're not like prepared to ship more fragile items generally. Now, why did I buy this? And you might be like, "Oh, you collect crystals too?" Yeah, I got into the crystal craze back in, oh my goodness, I think it was 2015 or something like that, at least 10 years ago. And so here's this beautiful specimen. This is from Kosovo. It's from the Trepka mine. And a piece like this is worth between $750 to $1,400. And when I bought it, they weren't hot. It wasn't a hot collectible. This particular mine wasn't, $50, $25. You can get a big piece for $75. And I invested. I bought it. And now the values have gone up astronomically. And so that was a really good buy. It has four different minerals at the least. We have galena, calcif, I think galena. We have some kind of pyrite. We have needle quartz. We have calcite. We have all different minerals on this. I don't know if you can see. Look at the little cube up here of pyrite. Sometimes I think it's called galena. I don't know. I'm not a crystal expert, but these are really beautiful. The needle quartz is really, really, look at that, really outrageous. You see some secondary minerals on top of the needle quartz as well. We see the calcite that looks like cheesy puffs. Isn't that cool? Look at the cheesy puffs. And yeah, look at that. Look at that sparkle. So this one, now you're going to look at this one and you're like, oh. All right, but so the newbie seller. Newbie sellers are fantastic because when they're new, they really don't do their research. Well, not everybody is like that, but for the most part, a lot of sellers, they just want to get rid of excess crap in their house. And I suspect that this person's grandparents must have died. And because a lot of stuff was grandparent stuff, and it was a young person. And that's what they do. The young people, they just $10 here, $5 there. They don't care. They don't want to put the effort into research. And so I was not going to buy this. I did buy other things from this particular seller. They're coming, by the way. They're coming. They were scores. And it has nothing to do with crystals. So I kept watching what the seller was listing. And they listed this. And then I was just like, it's not the best formation of crystals. It has healed terminations. We have some breakage. Actually, that's quite nice. It looks like the Space Shuttle Challenger. I don't know. I'm old. I remember when it blew up. And, look at that. I like that. Look at that. You see the face of that crystal? I don't know. Am I, it's right there. I'm looking through my camera. Some parts of it aren't so attractive, but I can clean this. Look at that. It's actually not as dirty as I thought. But once you clean these, I don't know what that green thing is on it. It needs a cleaning, which I will do in a moment, and I'll show you it. And a lot of you will come to me and say, when I find a seller like this, you'll say, oh, give me the seller's name on eBay. No, you think I'm stupid? It's like this. It's like if you find a pouch of coins buried in the hollow of a tree and there's like pirate's booty in there. Are you going to tell other people where you found the pirate's booty? No, I will never indulge my sources. I do all this hard work to find these things, and no, I'm not going to share. You might think, oh, you rotten, greedy person. You can't share this seller with us. Nope. And I keep watching everything they list every single day because they're going to be adding more treasures. All right, so this, they had listed for, I think it was $9. And I was being a cheapskate. I was like, $9. So the seller, actually, I wrote to her and said, oh, nice crystal. I'm waiting for the other stuff you're listing, so I'm going to favorite you. And she wrote, oh, if you want this, you can have this for $5.85. And she sent me an offer for $5.85. And guess what? I took it and ran. Yeah, I ran. I ran all the way to the bank. This is a heavy piece, weighing at least 2 pounds, 3 pounds. Oh yeah, it's heavy. And so where is it from? I don't know. I'm going to clean it up and we're going to look at the crystal and we're going to ask AI to help us. How's about that? When I started collecting crystals back in about 2014, 2016, the scientific community hated the crystal people. You know who the crystal people are. Nothing wrong with you. But hated the crystal people. Why? Because the crystal people, basically, if you're a rock hound or a mineral collector, you don't want competition. Just like I don't want to tell you what seller I got this from. Because why? Because if I tell you what seller I got this from, my deals are going to dry up. Not going to let that happen. And yeah, so somebody just the other day asked me, name the seller. No, I'm not going to name the seller. It would be stupid. Do you think that would be wise? But here we go. We clean this up. It's not the most beautiful crystal, but there's an ass for every seat. So somebody will find something amongst the flaws of the crystal. And so the crystal people are more likely to spend more than a scientist, rockhound, somebody who's just like specifically in it for the science of the minerals. They love minerals. Yeah, a rockhound is not going to like this specimen. They're going to just be like, it's trash. Oh, look, we see a rainbow. Did you just see the rainbow? Look at that. That's actually telling us there's like a fracture inside the crystal, which is really cool. I'm not an expert, but I love, let's zoom in on that rainbow. Can we see that? Look at that. You see that when the light hits it? Sorry for that sound. It's the plastic. I used to get these stands to display my specimens, but I love, look at that. Now, a crystal person, a metaphysical person will want this crystal because of the rainbow. They will be like, wanting this. Now, a rockhound will be like, nah, it's a fracture inside the crystal. When it was forming, it healed, it broke, and it healed. It's it's a crystal that has flaws, but no, not to the metaphysical people. So the question is, how did I do for my $5.85? This is a heavy piece. It's a chunk. It's a cabinet specimen. But again, for the people that are the real scientist types, the rock collectors, they're not going to want a piece like this. They're going to want to get a better example for their collection. Now, I did good still at $5.85. Look at that. We got milky quartz. It's like a milky quartz. A lot of collectors in the metaphysical world will call this clear celestial quartz. Sometimes I believe they call this formation. I'm trying to remember. I used to know all the formation names. But they would call this a milky quartz. Look at that. Look at the faces. Some of them, they call them names like Lemurian crystals. They call them ghost, phantom. There's all these different names, skeletal, celestial. And I find that really fascinating. But the people in the rock community, the rockhounds and the mineral collectors, laugh at that. It's like laughable because they're like, how could people think that these crystals have metaphysical healing properties? I will tell you one thing, not on any side, but I do know that during World War II, quartz crystals helped us win the war. That's right. Quartz crystals, they have energy. They actually, if you bang a quartz crystal, if you bang something onto a quartz crystal in the dark, you will actually see electricity inside of it. Why do you think so many watches, well, people don't wear watches anymore, actually used to say quartz on them? Quartz is a conductor of electricity and energy. And so there are some kind of amazing properties. During World War II, they used them for their clocks on their bombers, the clocks in the aircraft. They used them for the odometer readings, for all sorts of scientific tools. Quartz helped us win the war. So for $5.85, what would somebody? Well, it's subjective. So if I was to list this on eBay, I'd probably get $35 for a cluster like this. But if I still had my Etsy shop, I used to sell pieces like this for between $300 and $500 all day long. But guess who are the people that were spending the big bucks? The metaphysical people. And they really helped me because I was doing really well. I was very, very successful on Etsy selling my crystals. I stopped selling because when the fees went up, and then I had to pay taxes, at least 27% in taxes, it would shave off at least 50% of my profit. And I felt it wasn't worth selling them anymore. So there we go. What kind of quartz is this? Where did it come from in the world? There's a few places that I can think of. Perhaps maybe Arkansas. Arkansas is known for this milky type of quartz with this red, I don't know if you can see this red staining. It's iron staining. Also Brazil. Brazil is a well-known place for pieces like this. And Mongolia. I believe Mongolia. There we go. Or I forgot the Congo region. I believe the Congo region. But most likely, this is a piece from, I'm going to think Minas Gerais. I believe it's called Minas Gerais in Brazil. Or it's American. Good old Arkansas crystal. Let's get in there tight. This has look, it's healed. The crystal was broken and it started to grow back, which is quite cool. We have this formation over here. I mean, it's not your highest quality crystal. Look at the formations. Now, somebody who's in the metaphysical community might see this as a growth crystal. And when I say that, it means that there's parts of your life that were shattered and broken, but you still keep on trucking. You know what I mean? You still keep on trucking. You start to heal from different traumas, like this crystal did. As you can see, it tried to. It got broken in certain spots, but it kept on trucking, just like most of us do. We have some bad things happen to us, and boom, we just regrow as humans. Well, the crystals do it too, which is quite cool. Look at that beautiful shine, even though it is milky quartz. I'm not a big fan of milky quartz. Milky quartz is like, you know. But what's its formation? That's a good question. Maybe I will ask AI about this.
We'll find for under $6. Getting a 2 to 3 pounds quartz cluster of that size for that price is what collectors often call a garage sale or liquidation steal. It's worth significantly more than what you paid. 2. Physical characteristics and formation. Color and clarity. This is milky quartz transitioning into clear quartz. The cloudy, milky base is caused by tiny bubbles of gas or liquid trapped during the crystal's growth millions of years ago. The tips are clearer because the growth conditions stabilized as the crystal reached its end. Growth pattern. This is a parallel growth cluster. You can see how multiple crystals have grown roughly in the same direction, competing for space. The golden staining, the orange yellowish tint on the bottom and in some of the crevices, is likely iron oxide, limonite or hematite staining. It's definitely possible to see a cluster of this size listed for $150 to $350 on platforms like Etsy. Local markups. If you walked into a high-end crystal shop in a major city, you would likely see your exact piece for $150. In that sense, you got an incredible bargain. You essentially found a wholesale price on a retail item. That is a beautiful specimen. Based on the photos, you have what is known in the metaphysical community as pineapple quartz, also frequently called candle quartz or celestial quartz. The terms pineapple and candle are often used interchangeably for this growth habit, though some collectors use pineapple when the secondary crystals are more crowded, and candle when the main point is more elongated. Here are the main talking points and symbolic meanings a metaphysical enthusiast would find in this piece. 1. Defining the form, pineapple/candle quartz. Metaphysically, this specific growth pattern, where a large central point is surrounded by many smaller terminating points, is deeply symbolic. The master and the students. It is often seen as a symbol of leadership or a core truth surrounded by collective wisdom. It represents the idea of one source manifesting in many ways. Ancient knowledge. Many believe candle quartz acts as a library or a databank for ancient information, often linked to Lemuria or Atlantis. The small points are thought to be scrolls of information. 2. The internal rainbow. You mentioned a rainbow inside. In the metaphysical world, an internal rainbow, or iris quartz, is highly prized. Hope and optimism. Rainbows are seen as symbols of pure light and joy. They are believed to help deal with depression or sorrow by shining light into the dark corners of the soul. Bridge between worlds. Rainbows are often viewed as bridges between the physical and spiritual realms, helping the user access higher states of consciousness. 3. Key metaphysical talking points. If you were describing this to someone in the crystal community, these are the buzzwords they would value. Grounding higher light. Unlike clear quartz points, which can feel flighty, the bulky grounded base of pineapple quartz is said to help bring high vibration energy down into physical reality. Community and support. Because the main crystal is supported by many smaller ones, it is used for work involving group dynamics, families, or communities. Soul pathing. It is frequently used by those trying to find their soul purpose, as the many facets are said to represent the many different paths one can take to reach the same truth. 4. Visual physical indicators. Luster. The waxy or greasy luster seen in your photos is a classic trait of candle quartz. Inclusions. The tan/creamy color at the base suggests mineral inclusions, likely iron or clay, which some believe adds an extra earthy or grounding element to the stone. Why a metaphysical person would love this? A practitioner would likely love this piece because it isn't just a pretty rock. It's a tool. The complexity of the surface provides a lot of texture for meditation, running fingers over the small points. And the hidden rainbow provides a secret element that makes the piece feel personal and magical. $5.85, you essentially paid rock bin prices for a significant collector's piece. The presence of an internal rainbow and the intact pineapple structure makes it even more valuable to a metaphysical buyer. Yes, it is still pineapple/candle quartz. In fact, most authentic specimens have a milky or opaque base. This milky appearance is caused by tiny gas or liquid bubbles trapped during the crystal's formation and is a standard characteristic of the variety. Why the milky base matters. The candle look. The milky white color is what gives candle quartz its name, as it resembles the opaque dripped wax of a white candle. Metaphysical yin/yang. Many practitioners value a piece that is milky at the bottom and clearer at the top. They see the milky base as representing yin, feminine/grounding, energy, and the clear tip as yang, masculine/focused, energy, making the crystal a symbol of perfect balance. Geological origin. Most of these specimens come from Madagascar, where this specific milky to clear gradient is the classic local signature. Your crystal is a textbook example of the type. The milky base doesn't disqualify it, it confirms its identity. Rockhounds and scientists generally dislike the metaphysical community because of the shift from objective science to subjective belief. Here are the primary reasons they clash. 1. Pseudoscience versus geology. Scientists view crystals as chemical compounds, SiO_2 for your quartz, formed by heat and pressure. They find terms like vibrations, energy grids, or cleansing frustrating because these concepts have no measurable basis in physics. To a scientist, claiming a rock can heal a physical ailment is misinformation that can be dangerous if it replaces actual medical care. 2. Erasure of geological history. Rockhounds value a specimen for its locality, where it was found, and its formation history. They often feel the metaphysical community strips the rock of its identity by replacing its 100 million year geological story with a invented spiritual one. 3. Market inflation. Because of the high demand for healing crystals, prices for common minerals have skyrocketed. Rockhounds complain that they can no longer afford nice specimens for their collections, because the metaphysical market has driven prices up by marketing magic rather than mineral rarity. 4. Safety concerns. Scientists worry about safety. For example, some metaphysical books suggest putting stones in water to make elixirs, but many minerals like malachite or bumblebee jasper contain arsenic, copper, or lead, and can be toxic if ingested or handled improperly. 5. Altered specimens. Collectors often dislike the beautification of crystals, like dyeing them neon colors or coating them in metal, or a quartz, to make them look more magical. To a rockhound, this is vandalism of a natural specimen.
All right, so what do we learn? I don't know. What did we learn? Well, we learned that the scientific community does not like the metaphysical community, and probably vice versa. We learned that the metaphysical community has raised the price of common crystals and common rocks and minerals, and that the scientific community does not like that because they want to add these to their collection, and they do not want to pay top-notch prices that the metaphysical community is thinking of spending on these pieces. So now the typical things that they would have added to their collection is now costing them more money. So of course they're angry. And I can understand that, but it is what it is, right? Look at that. You see, like, I don't know, every time you look at a crystal, you always notice things that you didn't notice before. Look at that. Look at that. I like the angle. And so I really don't dislike this crystal. At first I was like, you know what I mean? I like the fact we have milky mixed with clear. You can actually see the clear. It had some breakage over time and regrowth. It's actually nice and shine right now. And so I don't know, was AI correct with its assumptions and what it said about this particular crystal? Well, look at that. It has like some kind of odd shape on there. I don't know what they call that in the metaphysical community. We see some inclusions of something in there. AI did say Madagascar, but we got a rainbow. I just saw my rainbow. So, there it is. Somewhere in there. Oh, look, more rainbows. Do you see that? So cool. They said Madagascar. I'm thinking I can't say it right. Minas Gerais, Brazil, or Arkansas. I don't think Arkansas. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but I want to see that rainbow again. See, I get mesmerized by that. You see the rainbows? Look at that. The iridescence. So cool. So beautiful. And what is it worth? I don't know. All that stuff is subjective. Here's the ugly side. But does it really have an ugly side? Look, it has like a little cave, little caverns going inside there. And no, I'm not going to share the cellar with you. Oh, I see more rainbows. Look at that, boys and girls. Oh, wow. It has even more rainbows than I thought. Look at that. Inside the crystal, what do you see? What do you see? I'm like, now I understand the metaphysical people. I'm sorry. That just like healed me. No, not completely. Yeah, I have a lot of issues, but wow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all on the next one.